major news today. Iran struck at least 20 missiles towards Israel, causing significant damage. Early reports say that there are multiple casualties, and significant damage has been caused. Everybody's waiting for the Israeli response. Some believe the Israeli response isn't going to come because Trump has said that he will not support any strikes that they try to conduct. Is this the beginning of the separation of Israel? Or are they playing all of us? We've got geopolitical expert Jim Kavanagh on the show who's going to speak about all of this with us. Jim, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me, Sulaiman.
Appreciate you coming on. Jim, the same question to you. We have this major escalation. What's your thoughts about what happened today?
Well, look, we got to recognize that Iran is the only country in the world, let alone the Middle East, that has attacked Israel on behalf of another country, on behalf of Lebanon. This is, first of all, we got to recognize that this is an inflection point in that respect. Iran is demonstrating it is not intimidated by Israel. Iran is demonstrating it will act on behalf of what it thinks is the just and right thing to do to prevent the slaughter of Lebanon, to prevent the Gazification of Lebanon. So, and it's reacting without hesitation, without fear. So we have to, first of all, recognize that. Now, the big problem here, look, this is a war for Zionism. This, I wrote a thing, this war will end when Zionism does. The problem is, Donald Trump can say to Israel, oh, we don't support you doing this, we don't support you doing that. Donald Trump can yell and scream at Netanyahu, but as long as the United States of America, the political regime that runs the United States of America, is going to guarantee that Israel will not lose a war, which it still is, then Israel can get the United States into any war it wants. So what is, the idea that Trump is going to say to Israel, well, you can, we don't want you hitting Iran again. What about Beirut? We don't want you. He's saying, well, Beirut's not our problem, but Beirut is your problem because the Iranians are making it your problem. And the Iranians are saying, we're in this to put an end to the situation that we've been in for 47 years. We're in this to stop, once and for all, stop Israeli aggression. And Israel is not going to accept that. So Donald Trump can say to Israel, unless any American president, forget who it is, says to Israel, we are not going to send you any more bombs or any more bullets or any more weapons or any more money. We're going to stop sending you the weapons that you use to do this. It doesn't make any difference how mad he is at Netanyahu or anything else. And if he thinks he's going to say, oh, get Israel, because Netanyahu will say, okay, we won't strike Iran for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks while you make your deal, but we're going to continue striking Beirut. What deal is he going to make with Iran? Then Iran has to accept that Beirut's not part of the deal, which they so far haven't. So it's an extremely dangerous situation. I think Iran has said and is demonstrating that it considers ceasefire in Lebanon, Israel stopping Israeli aggression in Lebanon to be part of the deal. And I don't know where it's going to go from here because, this is going to go somewhere bad because Israel is not going to accept a loss. And the political regime in the United States is not going to allow Israel to lose without giving every support it can. And I don't think that's changed. And I don't care what Donald Trump says or thinks or really wants or screams at Netanyahu. There's a political regime in the United States that he's only part of, which is dedicated to the Zionist cause and absolutely dedicated to never allowing Israel to be defeated. And Iran is on a program to defeat Israel in Lebanon. So it's not Gaza. So I hope that, I don't know, they'll be able to continue that program, but that's the problematic here. Until and unless the United States gives up its guarantee to the Zionist cause that we will support the Zionist program and we will support the Israeli state in anything it does and never let it lose, then we're in for war forever, one way or another in the Middle East and therefore in the world.
I mean, looking at this, just to add some points to your argument, the Israelis are not happy right now. I just had Larry on, and he believes that actually a deal is close, and this is why Trump is not responding. So he believes the reports that Trump is not going to be helping Netanyahu with the response. But for example, if you look on X, you've got people like Emily Schrader, who I believe she works for the government of Israel, saying that the following quote: Trump to Iran, you fired your missiles, return to the negotiation table. US President Trump responded to the regime's missile attack on Israel, saying in an interview with Fox News that, quote, I would suggest to Iran, you fired your missiles, that's enough, go back to the negotiation table and make a deal. Shameful. So the Israeli lobby isn't happy with this decision or these statements coming out for Trump. Do you think he's going to get pressured into changing his mind, or do you think him and Netanyahu's telephone conversation isn't Netanyahu and Trump disagreeing with each other, but instead is them colluding about how they're going to respond?
Well, again, it doesn't make any difference what Trump thinks. I mean, there's a level at which he can argue with Netanyahu, tell Netanyahu, you can't do this. What does it mean to say to Netanyahu, I'm Netanyahu, you're Trump, you tell me, I don't want you to do that. You can't do that. But then I go do it, and with your weapons, which I can't do it without, with your money, with your political support in international institutions. Have you stopped giving me that? Have you said, oh, when you said to me, I don't want you to do that, does that mean I'm actually going to punish you if you did? Netanyahu knows very well, he's convinced, and he's right, that he's going to get away with anything, that he's not going to lose the support of the United States, no matter what he does. Because the Democrats and Republicans and the deep state in the United States, which Donald Trump is one swamp creature of and doesn't run, is going to make sure that Israel gets all the weapons it needs to do anything it wants in Lebanon. And until and unless that stops, unless Donald Trump is telling Netanyahu, whoever the president of the United States is telling whoever the president of Israel is, we are not, if you do this, you stop getting our weapons. You stop getting our money. You stop getting our political support. We will vote against you in the United Nations. Unless they're doing that, it doesn't make any difference what he thinks, what he says, how angry he is, whether he really wants to do this or that. This is personal nonsense. And I don't think Donald Trump really understands what's going on about much of anything in the world. But the fundamental, I mean, as I analogized it in my last article, the United States and Israel are conjoined twins. And until that gets torn apart, which is a very difficult thing to do, until the conjoined twins, the United States is in it with Israel because they've devoted themselves to be in it with Israel, no matter what happens. No matter what happens. So I don't like that you're attacking Beirut. Tough luck. I'm going to attack Beirut. Well, what are you going to do about it? And Donald Trump, the president of the United States, could do something about it. He could say, we're not going to give you no weapons. Joe Biden could have said it. This is like Joe Biden was tirelessly trying to get a ceasefire in Gaza. He's going to get a ceasefire one day. Say, we're not giving you. The Israeli military said every weapon, every bomb, comes from the United States. We can't do this without them. So this is my point. Whatever this, it doesn't make any difference what Donald Trump really means or how sincere he is about this or that. It makes a difference whether the political regime of the United States that he's in charge of, that he's willing and capable and will cut Israel off from that regime and say, if you do that and you lose to Hezbollah and you lose to Iran, tough luck. We're going to sit back and watch you get driven out of Lebanon. Now, if anybody thinks that the situation in the United States political regime right now is such that that's going to happen, I got a bridge to say.
Great point. I won't be buying that bridge, Jim. But in terms of just the other... Oh, guys, by the way, if you're on the YouTube, make sure you like this video. If you get the likes up, we'll get a huge amount of people coming onto the show. So make sure you get the likes up on the X. Do retweet the space. But I guess the other element of it is that what makes this unique, Jim, is, and we kind of broke this down with a number of guests, is... hypothetically speaking, hypothetical obviously, if Trump was not to help Israel in this response, defensively or offensively, they can't do anything. That's the problem they've got. How many fighter jets can they take? What is the limited action they can take? And then they get complete devastation from their country. So there is this ability to withhold support where they're not able to do something.
Absolutely. That's the point. The United States can withhold material support to Israel, and Israel will lose.
Yeah.
They will lose. But they're going to lose. That means they're going to lose big time. I mean, they're not just going to lose. They'll be driven out of Lebanon. They have to be driven. That's what has to happen. And I applaud Iran for doing what it's doing, but Israel is still blowing things up in Lebanon. They still occupy 60% of Gaza, and they're still blowing things up in Gaza. The genocide is continuing. Iran isn't stopping it yet. And I don't know whether they can or they can't or they will or they won't. But they're doing something more than anybody else. But this is the point. The Americans could stop it. They could say, we're not going to. Your fighter jets can't fly unless we provide the.
Okay, breaking news. Apologies, I interrupted you, Jim. This is big news. Explosions in Tabriz, northwestern Iran. Additional explosions reported in Tehran, the capital of Iran. Explosions in Iran right now. Sorry, Jim, I interrupted you. Do continue.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, Israel's going to do, and Israel is confident, and I believe correctly so, that it will get the support of the United States. The American Congress, the American military, the American national security establishment, the American political regime is not going to stop firing arms to Israel right now. And Israel knows that might change in 5 years. Israel knows there were 0 people voting against sending arms to Israel 2 years ago, and now there are 20. But so they want this done right away. And they're not going to lose a war with Iran without using every weapon at their disposal, including nuclear weapons, and without using every weapon that the United States will give them, which is any weapon they want. That's my position. And I don't know, this is a very dangerous situation, because what's going to happen? Is Donald Trump going to say to Israel, if Israel just blew up Tabriz, if that was an Israeli strike, is Donald Trump going to say, oh, we're stopping you get no more missiles no more rockets, no more intelligence from our Reaper drones. We're cutting you off. Is he going to do that? He is not. So this is, we have to face that. This is the huge problem in that region, in the world. It's the American marriage to Israel, the conjoined twins of Israel and the United States. And until and unless that is cut apart, and the Americans say, if you lose Israel, tough luck on you, you lose. This is not possible right now, politically in the United States. The Congress will give anything they want. They will override a veto. They will, and the military is, whatever Trump's doing in the White House, they're out there doing things with Israel, providing intelligence, providing weapons. So we're not going to get a deal that's going to end this before we get the end of Zionism, I'm afraid. A military defeat of Israel that sends us back. And I just don't think Israel is going to accept that.
So, breaking news, I am getting confirmation right now. I'm sorry, guys, I keep looking down this because I'm always looking for breaking news. But I am getting confirmation now that these strikes have been conducted by Israel. So there is Israeli strikes on Iran right now. So major explosions in Iran, Israeli strikes. Jim, what's your thoughts on this? Because to go deep into Iran would not be easy. It does seem like the US probably did support them, right?
They need support from the United States. They need intelligence. They need, they're capable of doing some things themselves. But the fact is, they're going to do what they want to do. And they're desperate now to get Iran out of the way before, people in the United States turn against them even more, and before, the tide turning against Israel and Zionism gets bigger. But so they're going to do what they want to do. And I'm telling you, please, I hope I'm absolutely wrong, but the political regime of the United States that Donald Trump is one figurehead of is not going to stop them, is not going to withdraw its support from them. I'm Netanyahu. I'm perfectly confident that if Donald Trump doesn't like it, too bad. I'm going to call all the other people who work for me in Washington, D.C., all of them. And I got them all. And I know what I'm going to get from Washington. He said it. People in Washington are easy to push. They're easy to manipulate and push around. And Israel, until and unless Israel is convinced that it's not going to get what it wants from Washington, that if it does something that Washington doesn't like, Washington will stop supporting it and allow it to lose whatever battle, whatever war it's in. That's not the case. I don't know what's going to make that the case. We're not there yet politically, not even near it in the United States. So we're conjoined twins with Israel. I call it USrael. And this is one geopolitical military entity. And until that's separated, which is going to take some kind of terrible political revolution and upheaval in the United States, we're going to be in wars for Israel. So we devoted ourselves to that.
So more breaking news, we're seeing major explosions. We've got scenes from Israeli strikes in this one. One second. Yeah. One second. Israelis have launched retaliatory attacks on Iran. Explosions had in Tehran, Tabriz, Karaj, and Isfahan. We also got visuals of the city of Najafabad, where there is actual visuals of strikes as well. Jim, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, this is the thing. Look, Iran said, and it did, that, we're not going to do this little tit for tat thing anymore. And Israel doesn't want to do the tit for tat thing anymore. Israel wants to end this in a way that defeats Iran, that pushes Iran, that makes Iran capitulate and accept the hegemony of the Israeli regime and give up that. They're looking for capitulation. And Iran has to be in it for the obverse, to force capitulation on Israel. And I cannot be comfortable thinking I know what's going to happen, because it's going to be a big fight now. So Iran has got to strike back full force. Iran has to now say, we have to destroy Israel, essentially. We have to militarily defeat Israel, force them out of Lebanon, create too many casualties, too many killed and wounded Israeli soldiers for them to continue. And we have to do that, whatever the United States does and whatever Israel does, because Israel is going to do whatever they can to stop that. They will not. I'm telling you, I almost guarantee we're going to see nuclear weapons used in this situation. But, if Iran has the power that I think it has, and I don't know, there's the rumors that are around about Iran having nuclear weapons. I don't think so, but, if they do, then that's another story. But, I've said for years, this is the first place we're going to see nuclear weapons used in the conflict with Iran by Israel. Israel has them, and they have them for a reason. They have them for a reason, to prevent themselves from ever losing a war. and they will use them. There's nothing more important for Israel than not to lose a war with Iran. So we're now in a very, very dangerous situation in the world. And it's just terrible. It's the culmination of, 78 years of Zionism and at least 60 of them as conjoined twins with the United States, and I don't know where it's going to go, because the people in charge, Trump is an idiot, and Trump doesn't understand what's going on, and things are going to be done around him and in spite of him. And Netanyahu and the Israeli regime is a bunch of psychopaths and murderers, and they are supremacists. And they don't give a damn about anything. They don't give a damn about whether it's going to disrupt the world economic. It's going to create an economic. They don't care. It's going to create economic chaos. They don't care. They want to defeat Iran now.
Some more breaking news. Sorry, go ahead. Some more breaking news. More missile launches from Israeli fighter jets over Iraq. Sonic booms heard over Baghdad. Cruise missiles were launched from Israeli Navy in the East Mediterranean towards Iran. Israeli airstrikes on Urmia, northwestern Iran. Repeated Israeli airstrikes in western Tehran as well. And the Israeli fast-struck military targets belonging to the Iranian group, the same Iranian group, but in the western and central Iran. So major strikes by Israel right now. We have got questions about, was the United States of America helping or facilitated in this? But this is the latest news in that regard. Sorry, Jim, do jump in. But whenever I give a breaking news, do jump in straight. Oh, sorry, Jim. Yeah, sure, so that is the latest news.
We need to hear this. I need to hear this, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, of course the United States is involved in it. The United States is involved in everything Israel does. Israel couldn't exist, and couldn't be the military power it is without the constant absolute, absolute unconditional support of the United States. And all the yelling and screaming and talks and reports of nasty conversations didn't mean a damn thing. They're getting the weapons. They're getting the intelligence. They're getting everything they need. And they will never be refused it until there's some kind of political upheaval in the United States that tears the United States away from Israel, its conjoined twin. This has been going on for decades. Pelosi, and if the ground will still be here for Israel, this is a deep, deep commitment of everybody. Bernie Sanders. I mean, what can I say?
Breaking. Oh, sorry.
Regime.
Yeah. Sorry, and apologies. This is like a lot coming out. It's just surprising. They must have done a multitude of attacks at the same time. We're seeing attacks on Isfahan and also Mehrabad Airport. We're seeing strikes on Mehrabad Airport right now as well. This seems like a multi-pronged attack. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, they're going for an all-out attack on Iran. They're going to try and create chaos that will undermine the regime. And if they want to make the regime fall, they want to make the regime capitulate. And what Iran has, problem is, Iran's a big country. How many cities did you just mention? How many towns? 10.
Yeah.
Iran's, and that's not enough. Israel is not a big country. There's two towns, 3 towns. They cannot Israel. Iran now has to say, if I'm Iran and I want to win this war, I got to do it now. I got to do what I can to rain destruction down on Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the Israeli cities, the northern Israel. They've got to Hezbollah, if it has the weapons, if it has the fighters, there has to be, a commitment made, a strike to strike the heart of Israel, and really, this is it. We're in the fight. We're not in the fight to, I'm going to punch you in the nose and you kick me in the shin. This is got to be knockout blows, and they've got to get as many. There has to, if there's an axis of resistance, it has to come out as a military force. If it's the Ansarallah, if it's Hezbollah, if it's Iraqi PMF, Popular Mobilization Forces, this has to be an all-out war now. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is, whether you like it or not.
Totally agree with you. And I've got some questions on that about you. Great points that you're making. Some more reports as well. Repeated Israeli strikes against Tehran. Explosions reported in Kermanshah, Western Iran. Also, a short while ago, the Israeli Air Force military struck, this is the statement. They say the Israeli Air Force struck military targets belonging to the Iranian terror regime in central and western Iran. This is according to the IDF. Also, apparently, they have just struck Beirut in Lebanon as well. So, multi-pronged attack on Lebanon and Israel. Just give us that. And you talked about how the resistance needs to resist. They stopped the Gaza aid coming into Gaza completely.
Yes.
So that's the end of any agreement in relation to Gaza. This is the time for Gaza the resistance in Gaza to also start a new front. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they have the capability of doing it. I don't want to triumphalize about the resistance. They have capabilities. They are very smart, and they're very, very brave. But it's a big fight they have on their hands, and I hope someone can supply them with what they need. Again, this is going to require probably international intervention. But this has to be clear. This is a fight for the future of the world, and it's a fight with Zionism against the world. This is the first world war for Zionism, first Zionist world war. And, Zionism has to lose it or it will win it. and they're convinced they're going to win, because they're convinced nobody is going to come in and stop them. They were right. Nobody came in and stopped them with Gaza. Nobody yet has stopped them in Lebanon. And now they're going to say, we're going to obliterate Iran. And let's see if Iran has the stuff to stop us. Let's see if they do. We're all going to see. I think Iran has the capability of maybe obliterating Israel. But then they have to do it. They have to be in it for that. And they have to say, we're going to do that no matter what the Americans or the Israelis do in response. And believe me, they're going to do something in response. Nuclear weapons if necessary, absolutely. So This is the situation we're in. Somebody is going to capitulate. Someone is going to be obliterated. And maybe everybody, but at the end of it, either the Israelis will pull out of Lebanon, and they should be forced to pull out of Gaza. I mean, the Iranians aren't saying that, but the world should be saying it.
Got some more breaking news. The additional strikes on the city of Karaj, Northern Ireland. Obviously, our heart goes out to all the Iranian people. Obviously, we have a lot of friends. We interviewed journalists and academics from Iran earlier on today, and it's just really unfortunate to see. Also, it says the UN MQ-4C Triton UAV conducted ISR operations for hours and returned to Jordan following the start of the current IAF, Israeli Air Force campaign on Iran. So it seems like Jordan was also used as a base. This is a legitimate target for Iran as well now. What's your thoughts on what's going on, Larry?
Absolutely. You know, and again, Iran, the only country.
Jim, your video's gone out again. Do you remember last time it was happening? It's just happened again.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Again, I can see you perfectly well.
It's your video that's gone out, Jim.
Oh, shit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but just the video is really bad.
No, I lost you for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your video has gone out.
Well, you want me to blow off and back in, or
yeah, if you could, and then I'll send you. If it happens again, I'll send you a link to StreamYard instead.
StreamYard has been better.
Let's try this one more time, and then if not, I'll send you a link for StreamYard.
Okay, I'm looking for the leave button.
Okay, so just waiting for Jim to get out and come back in. It does show his internet isn't great at the moment, but I'm going to continue giving you the news as and when we receive it. This is major Israeli strikes. Major Israeli strikes on Lebanon, on Iran right now. Major escalation. The Israeli Navy allegedly fired cruise missiles from the Eastern Mediterranean aimed at Iran as well. So that was major as well. We've got Jim back on. Jim, you're back and I can see you quite clearly. Sorry, go ahead. You were speaking.
Yeah, look, again, Iran has acted, you know, and we think, and I hope that Iran has the capability of devastating Israel, of destroying Israel, of defeating Israel militarily. This is what has to happen. But every supposed member of the Axis of Resistance alliance group has to be part of it. And the other Arab country, Iran isn't an Arab country, but the other countries in the Middle East, the Arab countries have been sitting back, watching Israel do anything it wants for 50 years, and for at least, since 1967. And they now have to be, Iran has, as you say, a legitimate target. Jordan's a legitimate target. If American intelligence drones are coming out of Jordan, that's a legitimate target. Any American base in the region, any country that giving material support to Israel is a legitimate target. And they have to start, those countries have to be forced to make different choices than they have made. And they will not make different choices until they are forced to do it. Until they sit back and say, we got to decide whether we're going to get hit and destroyed by Iran or hit and destroyed by Israel. And the United States. And that's a tough choice. And look, and I'm not confident that they're going to say, oh, we're going to be we're going to be brothers with our friends in the region. No, I mean, they've put their lot in with the Americans and the Israelis. And I don't know when they're going to stop doing it. They have to be hurt very badly in order to stop doing that. So this is a culmination of what's been brewing for 40 years. Israel's been looking for this for a fight with Iran for 40 years, and now they got it. And they're not going to let it go until they win or lose.
Yeah, and we're seeing multiple explosions in Iran right now. Larry, Jim, how do we deal with this? I mean, how do you think Iran's going to respond now? Because this was significant. This was ferocious. I was believing it was going to happen tonight. And I'll be honest with you, after the interview with Larry, I started thinking, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. But this was quite excessive. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Iran has to strike back big time. They have to target Israeli cities, Israeli you know, they have to cause huge damage and huge casualties in Israel. They have to. And I think that the IRGC is ready to do that. You know, if they've been speaking honestly and sincerely, I think they have, then that's what they're going to do. And again, I want to see who's going to come to help them, who's going to try and sit on the sidelines, and who's going to be helping Americans and Israelis. You know, and believe me, there's no question. If Iran strikes back, every 90% of the politicians in America are going to be, we got to make sure Israel can defend itself and blah 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 blah. This is the center of inflection point in history, and it's the idea the Zionist program and the anti-Zionist program are allies with each other now in a definitive way. Okay, and the anti-Zionist movement, the axis of resistance, has been wound down, you know, and it's going to fight now for survival, and for the defeat of Israel.
So, Jim,
Zionism does.
Jim, your visual has gone out again. I've sent you the link for the StreamYard. Let's switch over to StreamYard because this isn't working, and then we'll take it from there. So, guys, I am going to just quickly jump onto StreamYard for the audience, just while. Oh, what is this? Okay, onto Studio, and then we'll take it from there. Apologies, guys, but in the thing, in the. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, but here. Okay, hi Jim, how you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, so you were mentioning, you were speaking, your visual went out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, everybody's got to make their decision now. And the world is going to be either a place that is more dominated by Zionism. The Middle East will be more dominated by Zionism. Iran will be put in a box, or vice versa. Israel will have been defeated. Iran will be at least an equally dominant power with Israel, and Israel will be weakened seriously, and the Zionist project will be weakened seriously. And again, everybody should be quite aware that the United States of America is not going to let that happen without giving Israel every bit of support it needs. So that's where we're at. It's very dangerous, very dangerous, very dangerous.
And so let me just look at the news. Let me just give some breaking news. There's a lot of news coming out. Okay, we got explosions of Najafabad, footage of explosions in Kermanshah, reports of strikes in Karaj and Urmia, reports of renewed explosions in Karaj as well. Okay, we also have explosions in Esfahan as well, and 2 explosions in Shiraz. So they've hit a number of areas, a number of locations. In my mind, there's no way this could have been done without the support of the United States of America, because they don't have the capability to do this on their own. They only have 13 refueling tankers. It's just simply not possible. Guys, if you're on the YouTube stream, if you can like the video, let's try and get as many people in here as possible. Breaking news being given live at this moment right now. Jim, what's your thoughts on this? Sorry, there's a lot of news going through.
Yeah, look, it's obvious that now we're in it. I mean, we were in this phase of kind of phony war where a little bit of, as I say, you punch me in the face, I'll kick you in the shins, and we'll do that for 10 years. But the Iranians don't want to do that, and they're not going to do it. They said they didn't want to do that anymore, and the Israelis don't want to do it anymore. And so whatever Donald Trump thinks, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Again, the Americans are in it. Every bomb that's being dropped here is an American bomb, and then 90% of them. The Israelis cannot do this without complete American support. This is a USrael project, and that's what Zionism is in the world. It's a USrael project, and until the United States of America divorces itself from Zionism and tears itself apart from its conjoined twin, Israel, we're going to have war. It's perpetual war. And anybody who thinks otherwise, and there's no there's no liberal Zionism lying in wait for some nicer, kinder Zionist to be elected in Israel. This is baloney. This is a program for the hegemony of the Middle East, the hegemony of the Jewish supremacist enterprise, and in the resistance to it. And the resistance has been losing. And Iran is saying, we're not going to let that happen anymore. You wanted to get rid of us. We were the last node and the most powerful node of resistance that was left, and you want to get rid of us. And we're not going to let you. And in fact, we'll get rid of you. So that's what they're claiming to want to do, and they're positing that they may be able to do it, and they may be. But that's what we're seeing now. One side is going to win, and the other side is going to lose, and it's not going to take 5 years.
You mentioned that the resistance is losing, but what do you mean by that? Because if you look at Lebanon, I mean, okay, in the air, the Israelis are able to bomb, but on the ground, I mean, Hezbollah is really causing major issues with Israel, to the extent where many commentators that I've spoken to say that they've only can last another 3 or 4 weeks. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I hope that's true, but till that happens, they're winning. No, who's running Gaza? Who's running Gaza? I said this 3 years ago. Who's going to be in charge of Gaza in 18 months? Where are the Gazan people the people of Gaza going to be? Who's running Gaza now? Who runs? Who? Israel. They've destroyed an entire. I mean, just destroyed, flattened the entire place. Who won that? I'm not going to. Hamas fought bravely and did as much as they could, but guess what? They lost. They've been losing. Now, Lebanon, Hezbollah has more power than Hamas. Where are those towns? What's happening to Tyre? What's happening to the schools, the hospitals, the universities, the entire towns that are being blown up, that have already been blown up by Israel? They've destroyed. Somebody who's winning that? So we can sit here and say, and I hope it's true. And I think, but Lebanon's putting up a good fight. I think they have the Israelis have 9,000 casualties, and it's true. The Israelis generals are saying we can't go on like this. Israel cannot continue to go on like this, and they certainly can't go on for 1 second without American support. But they're going to get the American support, and they're going to do something more outrageous. They bombed Beirut. Did Hezbollah stop them from bombing Beirut? So let's face what we're in here. We're in a situation where Israel. There's no level of sanity here where Israel is trying to do something rational, which, if there's a certain amount of resistance, they might not do this or that. That's not the situation. They are going to obliterate whatever they kill, as many people, terrify deliberately. They kill doctors and hospitals and journalists and doctors and children and teachers, professional teachers. They want to do away with the society. And they're doing it now in Lebanon. And who is stopping? Is Hezbollah stopping them? Well, not yet. I hope they do. They're attacking. They're fighting. I agree. No problem. But they're not winning yet. Now, I agree. If they have enough arms, if they have enough support, but they need support from Iran, and they need support probably from other countries to do it. It's a tough battle because they're in a war against Israel and the United States. They're in a war against USrael. And unless they have to win that war, and they're not winning it yet. Let's be honest about this. They're not winning it yet. And in fact, Lebanon is being destroyed. I hope it stops. I hope it stops today. I hope it stopped yesterday. I hope it stops in 2 weeks. But in 2 weeks, there'll be more of Lebanon destroyed. However many Hezbollah drones blow up Israeli tanks, unless they blow up enough Israeli tanks that Israel can't destroy any more towns in Lebanon. But I'm not confident that that's going to happen. Are you? I mean, who is? What have we seen in Gaza? What have we seen in Lebanon? This is very nasty, and it's going to take an immense power of destruction against Israel to make them stop doing this. To actually win, not just get away with it, not just survive for another 10 years, 5 years, so the Israel come back, but to win. To win is to destroy it, to eliminate the Israeli state and the Zionist program. That's what it means to win. So from the Israeli point of view, to win is we take over more territory, we blow up more, we just drive more people out of their homes. They're doing that. I want to tell you something else, but
Yeah, I just the bit in terms of, I guess what you're trying to say is they've not already won, because when you look at the extent of the damage that's been caused to Israel right now, Israel on the ground, the reports I'm hearing is 2,000 to 3,000 possible Israeli soldier casualties. I'm seeing that there's about 400 Merkava tanks being taken out. So I agree with you that they've not been defeated, but I don't think that Hezbollah are losing as well, because this is their strategy. The strategy was to always let them in and then try and ambush them. Now, the other element of this is okay, we're seeing smoke rising right now on in a number of areas. Israeli strikes on Isfahan right now as well. So we're seeing many strikes in multiple areas and multiple locations. There's also Israeli strikes on, Israeli alerting Israel in anticipation of Iranian strikes. What's your thoughts about that, Jim?
Yeah, well, I hope they will strike back. Look, it's true. Israel can't do this. They don't have enough manpower. They can't have all of their men in the army forever, and they can't take casualties. They can't. So if Iran and Hezbollah can create casualties, can inflict casualties on Israel, enough casualties, they'll have to back out of Lebanon. They will, as they did before. They were defeated in Lebanon before. They're not yet. There's a fight. They might be defeated. I hope they are. Lebanon and Hezbollah has capabilities, but Israel has capabilities too. And and I'm saying, please, if enough casualties are inflicted, that the Israeli generals have to say, we've got to pull out of Lebanon or do something else, they'll do something else. They will, at this point, they're not going to pull out like they did without trying anything they can to win this war, because it's not just a little thing in Lebanon. Everybody here, not everybody, the United States thinks they can, Americans are so stupid. They think, oh, we can do this, string this out for another 10, 15 years. But I think the Israelis and the Iranians both say, we want to put an end to this situation. We want to either get rid of Iran, get rid of the axis of resistance, make it clear, this is Israelis, make it clear that we're the hegemons and we will be the hegemons, and we're going to take whatever territory we want, and we'll kill anybody and anything that gets in our way and destroy everything we think we need to get that done. Or the other side is saying, Iran is saying, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to know for another 10 years negotiating with this guy and that guy, and total bad faith, nothing that we can count on. Watching Israel take over Gaza and destroy the Palestinians and drive them out of the West Bank and create program. We're not going to do that anymore. We don't want to. We want to end this situation. Everybody, the two major parties on either side, the Israelis and the Iranians, want this to come to an end, so that it's not the same game being played for another 10 years. So I think they're both committed to it. They will do what they have to do. And the problem is, everybody has to recognize the United States is not a third party here. It's on the side of Israel. It is completely attached as a conjoined twin to Israel. It is not going to let Israel lose. And so Iran and whoever's on the side of the axis of resistance is fighting USrael. It's fighting the United States and Israel. And Israel has all of the armed force of the United States at its disposal. So that's the situation we're in. And this is a kind of final battle in a certain way.
That's the way they view it, right? They see this as their final battle, and this is why they won't stop until it's the end. Guys, if you're on the YouTube, make sure you like this video. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. And again, when do you think Iran's going to respond? Do you think it's going to be now? We've already seen alerts in Israel. There's 3 explosions now heard in Isfahan as well, and the level of alert has been raised in Tel Aviv and southern regions in anticipation of major missile strikes.
Yeah. Well, I can't get. I mean, that's just pure speculation. I'm sure that Iran has been ready to continue striking, and I think, as soon as they feel it's necessary, as soon as they feel it's appropriate for them, it's strategically advantageous to them. They're going to have to take some account of the damage that's been done. I don't know, but I think they will strike back quickly and decisively, and I hope they will. I have no clue as to how much damage has been done, whether real damage has been done to their military capabilities, or it's just, bombing cities and terrorizing civilians. So I just don't know. But, I'm confident that the Iran, right now, and I wouldn't, after many years of watching people play games about this, it seems to me that the Iranians are sincere and dedicated, and they will strike back soon. I don't know that it'll be tonight or tomorrow, but within a few days, probably.
No doubt. Now, another question I've got for you is, we've seen a. Okay, let me just catch this up. Yeah, there's major explosions all throughout Iran. Additional airstrikes targeting Western Tehran, likely Israeli strikes on key locations within Iran. I guess the other question I have for you is that Netanyahu, I mean, I know what your answer to this is going to be, but let me ask it anyway. You think that, do you think that this is going to be a, what you call it again? Do you think that Trump was colluding with this, or do you think that this was without Trump?
Again, it's not Trump personally. Trump, I think this happens whether Trump liked it or not. And is he colluding? The United States government, the United States political and military regime is colluding with Israel. It considers itself a part of the Israeli Zionist project. And nothing of this could happen without American involvement. You just talked about the drone, was it a Reaper drone or another drone, but the Americans are making this possible. This is not possible without American involvement. And I don't know whether Donald Trump has any power over this, really, because he's going to be sat down and told that he can't do certain things, even if he'd like to. So, it's what Professor Morandi said about whether, when he was asked a number of times about, did the U.S. sign off on that strike? Did the U.S. participate in that strike? And he goes, well, what difference does it make? The U.S. is participating in the strike. The strike happened, and it happened with the support of the U.S. It doesn't make a difference what Donald Trump thinks or what Donald Trump feels or what he said or what, this is a structural fact that we're in the middle of, that the United States military is completely dedicated to the support of the Zionist cause and Israel. And that's not stopped. It's not been the slightest bit, not the slightest bit diminished. Okay? Whatever Donald Trump's doing. I don't know whether Donald Trump understands anything. But whether he does or not, doesn't make any difference. The United States military is part of the Israeli project. And they're going to support it 110%, whatever Donald Trump thinks.
Extremely unfortunate. But yeah, this is major escalation tonight. It's going to be a long night on the X Space and on the YouTube. Guys, if you're on the YouTube, make sure you like this video and also have your notifications on. You got to subscribe and have your notifications on. This is an example of breaking news that we need to give you in real time because huge escalations. After Jim, we've got Lieutenant Anthony Aguilar and Ray McGovern. And after them, we've got Larry Johnson back again with Ryan Dawson. So we've got huge panels coming up because of this breaking news. But Jim, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you giving us your time. Sorry about the hectic nature of this when I invited you.
No, look, this is real journalism and real time history.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Because when I invited you originally, I invited you, okay, some more, okay, this is huge. Major explosions on Karg Island. Apparently the oil infrastructure has been targeted. Energy infrastructure has been targeted. This is huge. We're going to talk about this in the next stream Now, but so click on the link, come across to the next stream. We're going to be ending this. Jim, thanks for joining us. I know people can find you on your Substack, The Polemicist, and you write there avidly. I do I do recommend people to go and follow you there. Thank you so much for joining us.
And on Twitter, X at the polemicist _.
Brilliant. Everybody do follow Jim. Appreciate you coming on, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. That was Jim, guys. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it. And make sure you subscribe. If you could do me a favor as well, guys, if you can click on the link. We're coming across there. Like this video, comment, subscribe. I'm going to see you on the link. We've got a panel right now with Anthony Aguilar, the perfect person to speak to about this, and Ray McGovern, who's ex-CIA. So click on the link, come across, and then after that, we've got Larry Johnson and Ryan Dawson for another panel as well. So click across to the link, and I'll see you there. I appreciate you guys joining in. I appreciate you guys listening.